For years, I gave up almost a quarter of my entire garden just to grow potatoes. Long rows, lots of work, and at the end of the season, maybe 40 or 50 pounds on a good year. I thought that was just how it worked. Then I saw something that completely changed how I think about growing potatoes. It was a simple wire cylinder, maybe 2 feet wide, about 3 feet tall, sitting right next to someone's barn. When harvest came, the guy just unclipped the wire and let it fall open. Potatoes rolled out from every single level, top, middle, bottom. I started counting. I got past 50 and just stopped. All of that from less than 4 square feet of ground. I had been doing this wrong for almost 2 decades. Here's the thing nobody really explains when you first learn to grow potatoes. Yes, potatoes grow underground, but the way they actually form is what most people miss. Potatoes grow on structures called stolons. These are little horizontal stems that shoot out from the main stem of the plant. And here's the part that changes everything. Stolons only form on the section of stem that is buried, not the roots, not the leafy part above ground, only the buried stem. So the more stem you bury, the more stolons the plant can produce. And more stolons means more potatoes. In a normal row garden, you hill the soil up once, maybe twice. That gives you a few extra inches of buried stem. Not much. But in a tower, every time the plant grows another 8 to 10 inches, you add more compost around it. You bury more stem. You do this 3 or 4 times over the season. You're not tricking the plant, you're just giving it more opportunities to do what it already wants to do. 3 or 4 production layers. Same small footprint. That's the whole idea. Now, before you go building anything, there's one thing you need to get right first. Not every potato variety will actually respond to this method. Some varieties, no matter how much you hill them, will only ever produce one layer of tubers near the base of the plant. Yukon Gold, Red Norland. These are great potatoes, but in a tower system, you won't see much difference compared to planting them in the ground. You can build the perfect tower and follow every step, but if the variety isn't wired to keep producing along the buried stem as it grows, the extra layers just don't happen. The varieties that genuinely shine in a vertical system are the ones that keep setting tubers all the way up the buried stem. Russet Burbank, German Butterball, Elba, Cuca Gold. These are the ones worth using. One more thing, don't grab potatoes from the grocery store and use those as seed. Most of them have been treated with a chemical to stop them from sprouting. You can do everything else perfectly and still get almost nothing. Use certified seed potatoes. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Once you have the right variety, most people want to just drop them straight into the ground. But this step is where a lot of growers quietly lose yield without ever figuring out why. About 2 or 3 days before you plant, cut your seed potatoes into pieces roughly the size of a large egg. Each piece needs at least 2 healthy eyes. Those are the growing points where new shoots will come from. After you cut them, don't plant them right away. Fresh cuts sitting in moist compost will absorb water and start to rot before they ever sprout. Instead, lay the pieces out in a single layer somewhere cool, dry, and shaded with decent airflow. Over the next couple of days, the cut surface dries out and forms a protective layer. This process is called curing. Think of it like the potato sealing itself shut before it goes into the ground. That protective skin dramatically reduces the risk of rot once those pieces are buried in the damp environment inside the tower. For a standard 2 foot wide tower, you'll need about 4 to 5 pounds of seed potatoes. That's enough to build 3 or 4 planting layers across the season. The tower itself is simple. You want a wire cylinder about 2 feet across and 3 feet tall. Use welded wire fencing with 2 by 4 inch openings. It's sturdy enough to hold its shape, but open enough to allow airflow through the structure. Cut a section long enough to form a circle that's roughly 2 feet wide. Then fasten the ends together with wire ties or short pieces of wire. That's it. The whole thing sits in about 3 to 4 square feet of ground. The 3 foot height is intentional. That's the vertical space you need to complete 3 or 4 hilling cycles. Each cycle buries more stem. More buried stem means more tubers forming at each level. You're stacking production upward instead of spreading it outward. 3 feet also keeps the structure stable. Once filled with moist compost and straw, a tower gets heavy. Any taller and it starts to become a problem. This size hits the right balance between yield and manageability. Before you fill that tower with anything, spend a few minutes thinking about where you place it. Potatoes need full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. Sunlight drives photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is what produces the energy the plant sends down to form and fill tubers. Less sun means less energy. Less energy usually means lighter yields. Place the tower on level, firm ground. As the season goes on, the material inside gets heavy. A tower that's slightly off balance at the start can become unstable by midsummer. Also, pay attention to drainage. Potatoes need steady moisture, but they cannot sit in standing water. If water pools at the base, you'll start seeing rot and fungal problems pretty quickly. Choosing the right spot up front saves you from chasing problems all season long. Now you're ready to plant. Start by lining the bottom inside edge of the tower with about 10 to 12 inches of straw. Pack it gently along the sides. This does two things. It keeps your compost from falling out through the wire openings, and it creates airflow at the base so moisture doesn't just sit there. Next, add about 6 inches of a 50-50 mix of compost and straw or loose garden soil. The texture matters here. It should feel light and airy in your hands, not dense or packed. Well draining, but still able to hold moisture. Now place 4 or 5 seed potato pieces evenly spaced across that surface. Give each one some room. Make sure the eyes are pointing upward. That's where the sprouts will push toward the light. Cover them with another 4 to 6 inches of the same compost mix, burying them fully. Water it slowly and thoroughly until the entire layer is evenly moist but not soaking wet. Your tower should now stand about 12 inches tall. That's the foundation. From here, everything grows upward. In 1 to 2 weeks, you'll see green shoots breaking through the surface. That's your signal. Once those shoots reach about 8 to 10 inches tall, it's time to add the next layer. Gently pile on another 4 to 6 inches of your compost and straw mix. Cover most of the stem, but leave about 3 to 4 inches of leaves showing at the top. That exposed foliage keeps photosynthesis happening, which fuels everything forming underground. Every section of stem you just buried is now a potential stolen zone, a potential new layer of potatoes. When the plant grows tall again, you do it again, usually every 2 to 3 weeks. Most seasons you'll complete 3 or 4 of these cycles total. By the time you finish, the tower is close to 3 feet tall, and inside those layers, potatoes are forming at multiple levels all the way up the buried stem. Watering a tower is different from watering a bed. There's no surrounding soil to act as a buffer. The whole structure is exposed to air. It dries out faster than you'd expect. The best way to check is to push your finger about 3 inches deep into the mix. If it feels dry at that depth, water slowly and deeply until moisture reaches the bottom. In hot weather, that might mean every other day. In cooler weather, twice a week may be enough. Consistency is what matters. Dry spells followed by heavy watering lead to cracked or misshapen potatoes. For feeding, good aged compost will handle most of what the plant needs. If you want to boost things, add compost tea every 3 to 4 weeks. Watch your nitrogen levels. Too much nitrogen produces beautiful green tops and very small potatoes. You want a balanced approach so the plant supports leaf growth early and shifts energy toward tubers when the time comes. When your plants begin to flower, that's the signal that tubers are actively forming and swelling underground. At that point, stop adding layers. Don't hill anymore. Let the plant put all of its energy into what's already there. 4 to 6 weeks after flowering, the foliage will start to yellow and die back. Don't harvest the moment you see the leaves fade. Those final weeks are when the tubers gain real weight and their skins toughen up for storage. When you're ready, just cut the wire ties and unroll the cylinder. The whole column collapses. Potatoes appear at every level, sitting clean in the loose material, easy to gather by hand with no digging required. In your first year with a properly built tower, 40 to 60 pounds is a realistic target. With better compost, improved watering habits, and a longer growing season, 80 pounds is very achievable. Under ideal conditions, the right variety, full sun, balanced nutrition, and a long season, 100 pounds from a single 2-foot cylinder is possible. Most failures come down to 4 things: using the wrong variety, not hilling enough times, watering inconsistently, not enough sunlight. Fix those 4 and you're already well ahead of most first-time tower growers. If you want to try this with even less setup, skip the wire entirely. Place 4 seed pieces directly on the ground in a small cluster. Cover them with about 8 inches of loose straw. When the shoots reach 8 to 10 inches, pile on more straw. Leave just the tips showing. Repeat 3 or 4 times through the season. By the end, you'll have a straw mound about 2.5 feet tall. At harvest, you just pull the straw apart. The potatoes will be sitting there, clean and dry, easy to collect. With this method alone, you can expect around 50 pounds. Very little labor, no special materials needed. Here's what I keep coming back to. The people who figured this out didn't have special tools or rare seed varieties. They just paid close attention to how the plant actually works. Bury more stem, get more potatoes. The tower, the wire, the straw, those are just ways to make it easier for the plant to do something it was already capable of doing. Once you understand that, the whole thing stops feeling like a trick and starts feeling obvious. Try it this season. Even just one tower in a corner of your yard. See what happens.